Any chance we can hear it run?
Yeah. It's not too groggy. Pull it out and see. It does run. It'll burn your eyes.
Show me the trash can.
Oh, yeah.
How do you want that? So, what is the cab?
The cab is a 46. Everything you see, it's a 46 Dodge pickup. It's all, yeah. There's another cab right there. I'm actually in the middle of another one right now.
I saw the frame outside.
Yeah. So that's a 1500 frame. This is sitting on a 2004 Dodge Dakota frame.
Okay.
Hence the Viper wheels, because that weird 6-leg pattern they love. But yeah, I have a 42 Co that I'm working on and I'm trying to make work. And the fenders are trash and everything. I hate body work. I'm not a body man. I'm just making it work. But this wasn't like everything was pretty much here. There wasn't a whole lot of repair that I had to do. This was, everything else was just kind of, there's a lot of dumb sarcasm, evil laughing in it while I was doing it. It's, I don't know. I mean, everybody's, I just kept adding stuff, you know, and just making stuff you throw away, you know, cams, you know, chain, whatever, stuff that's no good. A lot of that big chain is New Holland drive chain from an LS 170. My buddy worked at Messick's for years. And he's like, do you want this chain? I was like, yeah, I want that chain. Like, you can make anything with chain. It takes a lot longer to do it that way, but
it gives the end result.
Right, like I needed a spacer because the air filters wouldn't fit. I was choking me out with the smaller air filters. And, you know, I could have just put a blocker there, put spacers there, but I was like,
this is more creative.
Right, it's more fun. So everything I did and used was all like push rods and, you know, whatever you needed to do.
But when I first saw the truck, I was like, oh, it's a rat rod. And then I got closer and started looking and started seeing you use different camshafts and rods and testers, and I'm like, somebody's got some artistic sense of humor with this, because
it's just, it's a lot of dumb stuff and me just holding it up and go, yep, that'll work. And that's just kind of my speed, you know. I always loved to build a car, but I'm not meticulous like that. With certain things I am, but like some of those guys will spend 10 years doing, you know, the body on the car. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't have the patience for that. And I can never get it right, you know. It's like, I just need it to be kind of good there, you know, to make it work. And I knew I was going to drive this and beat it around, and I couldn't let myself get upset if I, you know, scratched it, or, you know, I take it to, I've taken it to Carlisle, Chrysler Nationals. It was dusty and there's bugs all over the front of it, and it still won first place. And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Like, why are they? It's just different. That's all it is. All the cars, you line them all up, and they're all the same color. Yeah. You know, they're all what they're supposed to be, and that's fine. There are people that love that stuff, and I love that stuff too.
I appreciate it, but
that gives me anxiety if I own something like that. I freak out.
Randy has I think it's a Nova he built from the ground up. He won't take it anywhere because he spends 5 hours a day waxing it and polishing it. He doesn't want sticky fingers on it.
If that's what he likes to do, and that's his speed, right?
I like stuff that you can drive, and like you said, get a bug on it. And
I've used this for so many different things. I put a bike in the back. My dad wanted to take it to a show, the one at the beginning of this year, and it was really early, and I didn't want to make him get up at 5 a.m. So I was like, well, I'll bring the truck over to you. He's like, well, how are you going to get home? I don't want to drive you the whole way home because he's half an hour away. And I was like, well, I'll put my bike in the back, and, you know, I'll bring it over to your house, and I'll just ride the bike back. So I had these Ruckuses that I used down at the bay, and I was going to take one of those, and I was like, I don't want to ride 30 mile an hour the whole way home. Freaking sucked. So I have an 07 R1, so I put that in the back, and I'm like, well, is it going to handle it? I did put bump stops on it, and it's, you know, that's like 450-pound bike. I put it in the back. He loved it. Drove normal, didn't vibrate, nothing. I was like, this is.
Yeah.
I expected something to be not right, but I could still run 80 on the highway. Nothing, didn't care. I was like, still does truck stuff. That's that one picture on my Instagram with the bike. And I was like, I use it all the time for that stuff. I literally go get groceries with it because it's, you know, just a short little run and it's fun to drive. And there's always some kid running up and, you know, yeah.
Well, as an adult, we go get it too. But.
Yeah, I mean, they love it. And everybody thinks it's so strange that I just drive it all the time and just take it here and there and whatever, leave the keys in it, whatever. And I'm like, well, if you can figure out how to start it, go for it. I have a certain sequence to do it, and it's not the key, obviously. No. So, you know, it's like, if you can figure it out, go for it, you know. Okay. All kinds of friends get in, and they're like, how do you make this thing run?
I'm not telling you. That's a trade secret.
So, because it doesn't really have a security system. Everybody's all about security now.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I guess somebody could just walk off with it. So, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, every little thing on this thing has a dumb little story to it. And it's...
You want to show us some of the dumb little stories?
So... Oh my gosh, where do I start?
What about the wrench?
The what?
The wrench.
Oh, that was... So my dad used to bring me a box of parts, like almost every Sunday. He'd come over and we'd hang out. And he would always bring me parts and stuff. And I needed a mount for the reservoir. That power steering pump. So this says, the reason I used this frame is it had bracket pinion steering, no box. So I wanted to drive nice. And the original Dakota reservoir was attached to the side. Well, it wouldn't fit, obviously, because it's a little tight in there. So I needed something that was separate. So I was like, well, I'll just go to the junkyard. I went to the junkyard and just got at Tri-Town, it's right down the road here. And I went and got one off a 2014 Dodge Caravan and just, I'm like, how do you know that's going to work? I'm like, I don't. I'm just going to put it on and spin it and see if it works. And it works, so whatever. If it doesn't work, you go get another one.
Yeah.
So I had to custom make the headers because I had the original headers on it. They were truck headers. They hung too low. And I wanted to ride it low, and they kept dragging everywhere. And I was backing off a trailer in Ocean City, and it actually bent a header up into the motor mount, melted the motor mount while I was there, and sagged the motor to one side. It was a whole thing. It was awesome. So I made my own headers, and that was another winter project, because I clearly have to tear the whole front end off because somebody did not design this to be worked on. There was no thought into that when it was done. So, yeah, I mean, every little dumb thing. Like this is the corkscrew from an adjustable wrench.
Okay.
And it's just because it fit in there. The throttle cable's from a Gixxer 750. That little butterfly flap on the bottom. It opens and closes for more torque or whatever mid-range. And it's just because it had these angles, and
it had what you
I'd taken it off another bike and I saved everything like my dad does, and it just worked out. So the chain, obviously use chain for everything.
Yeah, so you got chain in the front grill there.
Yeah, there used to be a cross member up there, and
the chain figures.
Well, it was too big, so I, did the chain. I had the chain. After I mocked everything up, I could not. I realized that there was no radiator that was going to fit in the front.
Yes.
And I knew I needed a lot of cooling, so I didn't know. I was this was a guess. Like I didn't know anything, about cooling systems, whatever. It was just like bigger is better, more volume.
The more you get, the better. Yeah.
Right. So I took the radiator out of that second gen Cummins out there and put it in the back and just sort of held it up, and I was like, this should be enough, So it ends up this system, and then when I ran the pipes back, I upped them to 2-inch pipes to run all the coolant for more volume. So the whole system is actually like 10.5 gallons. So I have all this volume, and
this thing's not getting hot anytime soon.
Right, and it didn't. It actually worked out. I run a 160 thermostat in it, and it runs right around 170 in the summer when it's really, really hot. I sat in traffic for a while. I sat in the boardwalk down in Ocean City for 3 hours, and the biggest problem I had was my leg stopped working because of that freaking clutch. So
That's the joy of a manual, though.
Yes. My dad's like, you know, and then he gets his 2 cents in, you know. Yeah. Oh, you wanted it to be manual. You wanted it to be stick.
Yeah, me and my wife were looking at buying another car because one of our lost the engine. And I'm like, I want to buy something with a manual transmission. She's like, again? You're getting older. I'm like, I just need to do it while I can.
You need something to do while you're driving. Like, it's just boring, you know. And
it's that feeling of being connected to the vehicle that I like. So.
This catch can was an afterthought. That's actually a small block Chevy sleeve. And the lip for the sleeve is on the bottom. It was supposed to be on the top. And when I was working on the bench, I didn't think about that. I had it flipped upside down, and it was like, it's just a catch can. And these are actually Sea-Doo pistons.
Oh, wow.
And they still have the rings on and everything. I blew up a Sea-Doo, well, dropped a valve on the river, and it's a 3-cylinder. So one, the second one's on the bottom, the third one's the license plate light that's all mashed up. That's the one that dropped the valve. So they just so happen to fit in this small block Chevy sleeve, and like.
I was going to say, that's almost perfect sizing right there.
Yeah, I just turned it into a catch can, so it's whatever, you know, and it works, because the crankcase ventilation is sort of coming back into the cab, so that gets a little irritating. You can smell it up, but the windshield still leans out. It still works. The scoop, I use the scoop all the time in the summer.
Does it have any air conditioning, or is it?
No, it's got
just windows down and.
Yeah, it's got 1940s air conditioning. It's that scoop and the front windshield tilts out, and it does really like wash out the cab.
Yeah.
If you're going.
If you're moving, yeah.
Yeah. It's not too bad. Now, when I drove it to Carlisle, it's probably the worst time because it's hot. It's like July. The floor starts to get hot after a while because you have the exhaust under there, you have the coolant running under there. I put my equivalent to shields to try to keep the heat down, which is just license plates because they work good as shields. And
why not? Right?
I have a whole bunch
They're
of
free.
them, right. So. What else?
I see you've got a servo manifold for the brake booster.
So I needed a spacer, and I was just going to build a box. And I was like, well, that's boring. And actually, that is a wrong order from that turbo Corvette. They sent me the wrong one. I was going to send it back, and they're like, no, just keep it. We'll send you another one. So I had it up there in a bag. It was brand new, and I was like, well, this would be a great spacer. I'm not going to use it for anything else.
I love the creativity behind it.
So it's just whatever you want it to be. There are no rules.
What's the deal with the John Deere boxes on the back?
So I was walking through the junkyard up in New Ringgold with my dad, and he was like, you should take one of those planter boxes. I'm like, Dad, they're green. They don't match the truck at all. And he's like, oh, I thought it was supposed to be a rat rod. It doesn't matter. Because...
So I
was like, all right, okay, fine. So I got 2 of them with the seed boxes, and one's battery box, and the other's fuel. Batteries in there, and fan control, all that. And this wasn't actually enough at first. The first year I had it out, it would barely start the truck, because you have quite a distance between there and there. And it is like, I think it's like 10.5 to 1. It would barely do it. And so I put another battery under here. I just hung it, and that was enough. So I have 2 batteries in it, and that other one's a toolbox and access to the fuel tank. And believe it or not, I thought those might fly off, but we did a little test. I drove it. I've been driving it. It just turned 7,000 miles.
Wow.
And nothing's come off. These boards aren't even tied down, like they're just in there.
I was just noticing that they look loose, and you see the suspension underneath.
Yeah. So there's the other battery.
There's your 4-link.
Like I just used everything and anything. Like this little strap that's from a jet ski.
And your tie downs are.
Those are small block Chevy caps. That's the only thing they're good for.
I love it. It's perfect.
But it's, like I said, it's just whatever you want it to be. And as long as it works, it doesn't matter.
I'm going to guess the bed was extended.
Yes. So when I first did the mock-up, the bed was a certain size. And the frame, it was from an extended cab Dakota.
Okay.
And I actually wanted the bed because I want to use it for truck stuff. That was the plan. So I was concerned I was going to lose 2 feet here, 18 inches or so, because I put the radiator back here. So I was like, well, I'll just extend it and integrate everything in and keep this down just so you don't see it from the side that much. And yeah, and then I just ended up cutting them at which I thought was a good spot, but it turns out after I did it, I realized, oh, I have to do the running boards also, and yeah, it just turned into a whole thing. But, and then it's like, well, do I pretty it up and make it nice or just leave it? And I ended up just leaving it. Like this top piece is just a pipe, just to match the
radius.
curly Q there. Yeah. And
is that the reason you went with the mesh on the side, is to extend it?
so that was the same guy that did the pinstriping.
Okay.
He was like, dude, I was talking about spacing, because I always wanted it to, you know, before the frame, before all that, I wanted it to make it wider, because these trucks are so skinny. You know, if you look at a factory one.
Yeah.
It's like, I want it to be wide and low, and, you know. Like remember the Grand Am, like big, wider is better,
Yeah.
the whole commercial. I always thought that was funny, so I was like, I wanted to give it like this dark and ominous, NASCAR-y, retired, somebody left it in the backyard for years, and I just kind of like got it going. So I told him I wanted to, you know, I was just going to use sheet metal, and he was like, dude, you should use spreaded metal. I was like, how am I going to do that? That stuff, how do you even work with that? So he's like, buy a 4x8 sheet of it and cut it in slivers, and I'll take it to work. He works at Peckway Trailer, and I'll put it in the brake and make channel out of it, and then you form it to the fender. I'm like,
that's perfect idea.
so I was going to use channel anyway.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like the whole idea was with the 40s trucks, it's like, well, if the fenders bolt on, it means I can put something in between, and they're not like part of the body the way that they're shaped like it's, you know, something else. So I was like, I can put something in between, and you know, won't really make that much difference. It'll still have its body lines. So that was kind of what happened. And, yeah, that stuff is absolutely terrible to work with.
I know firsthand.
You touch it with the welder, it just melts, falls apart. I had to make, so these were straight, I had to slice it, and then, like, I basically bolt it to the fender, mark it, slice it, put it back on, bend it, slice it. Oh my gosh, it was, I remember this, just the front end, because I stopped it here, and yeah, you can see where I tried to put it back together. It just went up to here at first. That was the first experiment. And that was like 6 or 7 hours, 8 hours I had just in doing both of these. It was, we can't weld it on the fender, you know, so you know, I didn't want to damage the fender. I didn't want to poke any holes where I didn't have to in the body, because it's all like kind of original.
Yeah. I
didn't want, like, that's why you won't see a whole bunch of holes drilled in the dash or wherever I didn't need to. So, because I mean, this is like all but 80-year-old. Yeah, I mean, like the metal, it's like really cool. I love that stuff, you know, that idea. So I didn't want to mess with the body too much, because it's like, where do you see body lines like this?
You don't.
It's the coolest thing.
And that's one of the things that jumped out to me on the one
Right.
I was talking about, because I was like, it's not a Ford and it's not a Chevy, so
one of the
close.
On the front, most of this is the original paint. I did cheat in a couple spots, and you can kind of tell the difference. But this is original. Like, you look at the scarring in the paint, you can see it and feel it. It's like,
It's got character and
right, and you can't even, like, it would be really hard to duplicate that. I would think. Now the front, the little bars had yellow on them, which was terrible. So I didn't care for that. So I just took it off, and I was like, I'm just going to do bare metal and clear it and see, you know, whatever. And I had a certain process that I went after when I did it. It was, I would sand it. The only reason that I started sanding it is because COVID happened. And I was like, well, now I have all this extra time to do the paint, because the paint wasn't going to be until last. And I didn't even know how I wanted to do it, what I wanted to do with it. And it turned into like, well, let's just sand it down and see what's underneath. And I started with this door, and as soon as this whole thing came out, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm ready to do the whole truck.
yeah.
And let me tell you, my arms were so locked up, like, from I hand sanded the whole thing. So I had a certain process that I would do And then at the end, there's a couple different grades, and then at the end I did a hard cut with a buffer to smooth it out. And I was gonna just flat it like everybody else or semi-gloss or something. And I was like, you know, that's what everybody does, and it's really hard to clean flat colors.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just gonna gloss it. And my dad's like, well, it's gonna be dirt in the paint, and you're doing it in the garage stuff. I'm like, I don't care. Like, what do I care?
Yeah.
I just want to clear it so it doesn't rust. So I started clearing stuff, and it started coming out like this, and I was like, well, whatever, you know. It's blurry in some spots.
Matte paint works well for the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah.
So everything just kind of worked out. Like, I scratched it here with the floor jack, walking past it in a trailer, and I was like, whatever, you know. Nobody, you know, you don't notice it.
No, it blends in.
It doesn't matter, you know. It's. I did put really heavy bracing underneath the side. Somebody would probably get on and jump on it, so it's really heavy.
See, they're functional, and you've got more shade under the cab too.
Yeah, that was just gonna hide the spacing, but you can see where the original cab,
Yeah.
where it used to sit, and how much.
Wider it is.
Right. So.
How wide is it? You have a...
I think the rear it's just over 7 feet. It's like 8
You say it's got Viper wheels on
in the
it?
front. Yeah, these are like 2000 GTS Viper wheels.
Keeping with the Dodge theme.
Yes. Well, there's not a whole lot of options for that 6-lug pattern.
No.
Like, unless you make custom wheels, and this was a budget build, so it's not like, you know, I'm not going to spend $4 grand on rims. So, and they were supposed to not be, you know, too wild anyway. When I first put them on, they were very flashy because they all come polished like this.
Yeah.
So I took them to the powder coater, and he was like, "Are you
Sure you want to do this?
Because they were perfect." And he's like, "Are you sure you want to coat these? Like, they're fine like this." And I was like, "No, I want them black. They take away from the truck too much.
Yeah.
If I left them, you know, shiny." So, because I had them on the truck at first like that, and I was like, "Nah, it's just too much. I want it to be." It ruins my darken on this. You know. So.
Had a theme, went for it.
Yeah, and it was just kind of. You learn as you go, you know, you start doing stuff, and either it works or it doesn't.
The thing with this is, the more I look at it, the more I see. Like,
Yeah.
just seeing it at the show for 30 seconds or a minute is one thing, but when you actually start looking at the details.
So my dad's big thing, he always laughs about, he's like, people always walk past it, they look at it, they'll walk around it, and then like 15 minutes later, they'll come back, and they'll walk around it again, and then, you know, 15 minutes later, they'll come back again, and they just keep walking around it, and then they say, I just keep seeing different things, you know. It's like, well, there was a little dumb stuff to do. You know, you just keep adding it. I would sit and look at it for a while and be like, you know, what else can I do? Where can I hide or decor or whatever, just to, you know, blend it in with everything else.
What's the inside of it?
It's all, so it has different set of seats in it
license
at
plates.
first. So those, my dad was a truck driver for years, and those are all his
different
original
tags?
license plates. Yeah,
Wow.
for his trucks. And believe me, I had to twist his arm together.
Well, I have all her grandfather's tags and her uncle's tags from all their cars.
Yeah, so that, like, even motorcycle plate, that was one of his. And he's like, well, I'm going to use him because he's building the truck now, magically. I'm trying to finish mine.
Well, he's got competition now, hasn't he? Is that the go-go?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all the pictures and stuff.
I might have to get the 70 something so I can have it into the video for whatever.
Yeah. What else? Everything was a dumb little thing, like it's.
He's like, we've got the bottle here. It's the spanner
Yeah.
holding me out.
I didn't even know if that was going to
Overflow.
work. It was. I just needed an overflow because there was so much fluid and it would push out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, it has to come back. So I just ended up sticking that bottle there. That was for their like literally for the test drive, and then I ended up like it filled the bottle up the whole way.
Yeah.
And then it drained it all out, and I was like, this is perfect. I'm just going to leave it on there. So I built that little harness for it, and it has seemed to work okay so far.
What are the seats out of?
So those seats are from a '96 Toyota Celica.
We have a Toyota.
And the reason, the bug eye headlights.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had a 91 Celica years ago, and I loved the seats in it. And I saw one, so the whole thing started because I wanted to do the 6-speed. So I did the 6-speed. Well, I had to do away with the push e-brake.
Yeah.
To do, for the clutch pedal. I'm like, well, now I need another way to e-brake. Well, I'll do a pull handle. Well, I need this giant pull handle to be able to make it work with this truck. So, because at the time it was drum brakes, and it seems like so much when you say it out loud, like so much like extra bother. So I was looking around the junkyard for this. Everything now is just like these little
Yeah.
So I found this Celica, and I'm leaning across these seats, and I'm taking this thing out because it had one of these big levers, and I'm taking, the whole e-brake out, and I'm looking. I literally sitting in these seats, I'm like, these are really nice seats, and they're kind of, they're not perfect, but they're a little ripped up, but they're manual.
Yeah.
They're not electronic. So I was like, seats are $20 a piece. I'm gonna get them. So I went back. I took the e-brake out, and then I went back in and got the seats. It actually had Ford King Ranch seats in it, and they were fine, but they weren't like bucket seats. They were the mid-row from an Expedition.
Well, we're looking at.
So the sides wouldn't really hold you.
Bolstering effect. Yeah.
Right. And the backs were really thick. And I didn't think about that, but these, I needed the back to be thick because I'm a little bit taller in order for it to be comfortable. So you're sitting in it like this, it's not. Now it's definitely a lot better. I've driven it a couple hours and been okay. But yeah, they were from a 96 Toyota Celica. They're like, what made you choose that? And I'm like, they were right in front of me and they were cheap.
The price was right.
Yeah, $40 for a new pair of seats. So I came home and put them, set them up and put them in. But this thing was bare bones when I bought it. There was nothing. It was just, there was no steering wheel, there was no glass, it was just there. So I sat on phone books and buckets and whatever else to try to figure out where I'm supposed to sit. Because naturally you're supposed to sit a lot higher in these trucks.
Yeah.
It's a bench seat. Well, I didn't have any of that stuff and I wasn't going to buy it. And I didn't want it anyway. I wanted a bench seat. So it was just all improvising and figuring out. And later on, looking at stuff at other people, the way that they did it, I was like, I did it the most absolute longest, terrible way that I could have.
But the results.
It's done now,
so they're yours.
I mean, there's things I would change, but it's it is what it is. Yeah. I'm not going to get all ruffled up, worrying about it. It works.
When you build your next one.
Right. Now I know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea. So, yeah. The center console. So, I did away with the pulley brake, as you see, because I upgraded to rear disc. And when I did that, when the new pickup has all these new vehicles have a push button e-brake. And I'm like, well, that saves even more space. I'm like, if I could do that cheap enough, I'll do it. So I kept my eye on, I just needed a single piston, rear caliper that was integrated. And I looked on eBay and I found a set of takeoffs off of a brand new Denali truck that somebody upgraded for $80 for a set of them. So I bought them, made my own brackets. That was a nightmare also. And then, made it work. And then, so I didn't have a module to
control.
You push the button and it just does it for you. I have a switch that if you hold too long, it will blow a breaker.
Oh.
And you have to reset the breaker. So you just, you do a 3 count.
Yeah.
Or if the truck starts to roll, if you're rolling, you just pull on it until it stops rolling and the e-brake's set. My dad doesn't use it because he's afraid he's going to break it. But
so he just drops it in first or second? Or
yeah. Well, that's how I usually drive it. But if it's on a hill or something, I'll put the e-brake on. But, if it's idling somewhere or out in the driveway, it'll roll away if I don't put the e-brake on. So it could be a pain, but I'm glad that I did it. It saves a lot of space. And
yeah, because you are limited on space.
Right. And then, well, having him with me all the time, my dad's not overly super dog fan, especially the bigger ones, and he still thinks he's a lap dog. So he would always, if I were in Ocean City or whatever, and Jarvis is trying to sit on his lap. Well, he can't sit on my lap. And my dad's like, get this thing out of here, so he'll sit down there, and I felt bad. So I was like, well, I'm going to make a center console that folds down. And my neighbor redid his baler and gave me all the chain out of it. So it's actually like baler chain that I made the center console out of. And
How's the doggy seat?
yeah, so that's like the center. But I went to the junkyard and found that is the rear seat. You know, you get in the rear seat of some of these luxury cars and
Yeah.
it flips down.
Yeah, center console.
That's what it is. And so
Okay.
it had the little band on it. So I'm like, well, I'll just use the band.
More
And-
pistons.
That little rod that's bent is from a jet ski that hydrolocked, and that's what happens when you hydrolock a motor. It'll bend the rod. Well, I just turned it into a little foot. Because I couldn't have something stick out if it's up.
No,
You know, it just kind of looks.
it's in the way, yeah.
And there's the second gear and I think third gear. Has cup holders down below that. But the other reason I like this, I grabbed this one, is because it had cup holders built into
Oh, there you
it.
go.
Yeah, so those are the gears.
Okay.
Those were the cup holders before. And that just flips down.
So 4 cup holders and a 2 CFL, there you go.
Yeah. So, and then the nice thing about that is it is just kind of, it's kind of open.
Yeah.
Like it's not attached other than that strap, so I can slide it forward. So he usually sits here and squeezes his little butt in between the seats, and he's, you know,
Perfectly happy.
yeah, he's just happy to be around. So it works out, and that was the whole idea. So that shifter, like the actual stick, is from that same Sea-Doo that I got hydrolocked. It had 2 hours on it.
I just love the fact that you keep recycling parts.
I mean, what are you gonna do with it? Scrap it? That's all it's worth.
Yeah.
It's a stainless steel rod that, like, there's a lot of machine work into that, and like time, and if you had to buy one, it would be super expensive. And I have it right here. I just can't use it for what it's made for.
So do I get creative with it and use it?
You feel better now? That's like his social anxiety thing. He sucks on blankets.
They gotta have a safe space, haven't you? Our boys have a 4-foot box they like to climb in. But then people get worried because it's just a wooden box with
Yeah.
a big door.
It's whatever they like, you know. It's
But they stand up our height, look over the top, and people are like, can they breathe in there? I'm like, they could climb out if they wanted to.
yeah, it's where they feel the best.
I like the fact that you got a dog seat in there.
He was the runt of his litter, so he just needs attention from everybody all the time.
Makes perfect sense.
But he doesn't bark,
Hi.
or hardly ever, unless somebody opens on the door. But yeah, he doesn't make noise. He just wants to hang out. And,
It's just a social guy.
yeah, he's really good, very tame. So I just take him everywhere. Some people love to take their dogs, but their dogs don't behave the best, so they, it can be a handful.
Yeah.
And actually, at the show there, that lady that was walking that short dog that looked
Yeah.
like him, she was like, "Oh," and brought him up. She went crazy on him, bit him,
Oh,
and
no.
he freaked out. So then he's scared.
He's like, I was just looking there to make a friend and I got bitten.
Yeah, it was a girl dog, and they're usually, I guess, jealous.
Oh.
Good boy. Dog.
He looks so tiny.
He's tiny compared to ours.
He's a little mid-sized dog. My first one was about the same size. He was a bully also. But it was nice, the idea that I could just pick up and carry him if I had to.
Yeah.
I could control him that way. But I don't really need to. You just listen. Really know what I'm doing. So, what else?
Stories are endless.
Yeah, the seat perches in the back are from a Kawasaki Terex that I rebuilt. And I just put a new set of pistons in it, and that's those little tiny pistons. And the small block Chevy rods are in the front.
I like using Chevy rods on this thing.
I mean, it's whatever's available. I have a buddy that has a machine shop that does a lot of vehicle parts, and he would often want to go through his dumpster, so I'd be out there.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, the price of metal these days, I can't blame you.
Yeah. And if it works, it's all good. So, yeah, I mean, every little thing, chain, that was just for decoration. those bumps are just, I had all this stainless steel pipe from doing the coolant system, and I just cut them in half long ways and just used the halves, just to, to have
Just to
something.
be something different.
Yeah, instead of
Because
just
you had it, yeah.
a regular cover. But
Awesome.
yeah, I put little radiators in the front. One's an oil cooler, and the other's a little radiator that I ran off of the heater hoses, just a little bit extra cooling, because the fans were running all the time, like on the highway and stuff, and I wanted to give them a break. So I put that little radiator in the front, and it's basically, I think that was all. It's a radiator, it's a cooler off of a Jaguar something, and it's the supercharger system, cooling system. And because they have 3/4 inch inlets, so I just did that, and it cooled it down. Like, because at first it would run, it was okay, but the fans were running nonstop, and I didn't want to be completely dependent on the fans.
Yeah.
So, because that could be dangerous. You lose one and the truck would
Yeah,
overheat.
you're in problems.
Right. So those fans, I actually used that radiator because I had a set of FlexLight fans for that truck that I never put on, and then I was like, oh, we'll just use them for this. So it was all stuff that I just didn't know what I was going to do with, but I had laying around a lot. That steering wheel is from my mom's 88 Oldsmobile, like the model 88.
Oh, wow.
It was an 87, 88. And yeah, it was the steering wheel. My dad gave me that column. The column didn't work out, but I kept the steering wheel. And yeah, it's from my mom's original car, and it's like got this navy glue to it. And I smash my fingers on the door all the time with it, but I can't get rid of it.
Can't get rid of
my
it.
mom's steering wheel.
Yeah.
So everything is just a little bit tight, but these are caps from a Dana 60 rear, and it's just enough.
Just enough clearance.
But it's tight. If you're like turning and not paying attention,
Yeah,
it
you almost
will-
want one of those
yeah,
little knobs on the steering
it'll
wheel.
rock you pretty good.
Yeah.
It drives straight as an arrow, and I drive it all the time, 80, 90 on the highway. Ever since I put that 4-link in, it's great.
It's got the traction.
It really, it's so much easier to adjust as
Yeah.
far as like paint angle and all that stuff. I had to learn about all that. So that's probably first. The visor, I couldn't find anything that I liked, and anything that I could find at all for this truck was stupid expensive.
So it almost looks like part of the original hood.
This is actually, you'll never guess what that's from. It is a hood from a car, but not what you would think.
All right.
And the reason that it's, so this color, as soon as I started sanding it down, my dad's like, that's Bayside Blue. I painted a lot of that. I know exactly, that's a GM color.
Okay.
He's like, why is that on this truck? I'm like, well, your guess is goes mine. So we're up in New Ringgold, walking through the antique section, which is like going back in history, and there is a Bayside Blue Corvair sitting down in the yard. So we're like, we're gonna take something off of it. I'm like, what do I need off of that thing? So we took the hood. It's like $5, And I didn't use anything off of it for the longest time, but it was Bayside Blue, in case I needed metal or something. And I ended up, well, when I finished the truck, it just looked really soft. If that makes sense, like really rounded. I don't like it. I have a big dump truck before. Tracks with a big drop visor. I love the way that it looks. Big stainless steel.
So you need the visor.
Right, so I was like, well, I'm gonna make a big drop visor just like that truck has. So I didn't have anything but a welder. Like I didn't have a torch, I didn't have a bandsaw, I didn't have a real good efficient way to cut metal when I did this truck. Because when I started, this was all not even barely insulated yet. So it was, you could see it in the pictures in the book. But I had a Sawzall and a grinder, and that's what I used for pretty much this entire truck until the very end bits. And I didn't have the lift. I laid on the floor in this thing. I had to jack it up so many times. I didn't have the forklift. I had to use a cherry picker for everything. It was terrible. Lifting up the cab, I took the cab off and on the frame like so many times. And that cherry picker was like, I'm like standing on the back of it, like trying to make it. I tied my lawnmower to it the one time because it kept tipping forward.
The weight.
Yeah, and it was so rigged, like so rigged. And this cab was actually twisted when I first got it. And the passenger door wouldn't open and close correctly. And I adjusted it, I could not get it right. So I started measuring the cabin. to figure out how to make this cab square is a mystery because there's no points, it's like a V.
Yeah, there's no reference, like a regular.
Right, so you can't just like measure. So I forget how I did it, but I tied lag bolts to the garage and my pickup over here or something, and I pulled it straight with ratchet binders
Oh, perfect.
and chain, and then I welded a grid on the bottom. So I did it upside down, and it was funny because it looked like a spider web. It was a mess. And my girlfriend at the time came out, and she was like, "You're gonna die out here." Like, did you ever see those pictures?
Why
You're like, why men
Yeah.
live, women live longer than men. And I was like, well, I gotta straighten the cab, honey. What do you want to do? She's like, because it was very sketchy. So the amount of force that you put on something like that, and then you're like, they're making that metal hot
Yeah,
and expecting it to just hold and not fly apart.
it'll be fine.
I'm like, you're very trusting with this stuff. So,
Just keep your head out from underneath the ratchet.
I mean, it worked. I got it straight enough that the doors open and close really nice. So, yeah, that was a process. But yeah, the Sawzall and grinder, oh my gosh, it was from work. And I broke one because I used it so much. Like the one Sawzall, and my boss, it's like, my Sawzall quit. I don't know what. And he's like, oh, just go get another one, whatever. So I got another one, and then I broke that one. So I went through blades. I should have kept all of the blades and made a bed out of them, because
That's one they use.
I cut everything with a Sawzall. That's all I had, and a grinder. So it was a process, and then I finally get all the tools and all the stuff now. And, I mean, it works. It's not as much fun.
No, sometimes you lose that feeling of being creative when you get so many tools in there.
Yeah, it's like you have too many things to choose from. It's,
Yeah.
What do I use with
My
this?
son's actually going to school right now, learning to do welding. And one of the things he likes doing is the MIG. He liked the MIG welding, but then he went to TIG this last couple of months. He's like, I'm just enjoying this. I said, that opens a whole world up in colors.
I just learned from doing it on buckets and whatever I need welded. I never really got to play that much with it because it was expensive to weld. So then when I finally did it at work, I'm like I said, I'm an excavator, so I've broken buckets and everything else. You start welding heavy, this and that. So everything in this truck is like overdone, over welded, over everything, reinforced 3 times. Just because I just feel like, well, it's not, no, this ain't never gonna break, kind of thing.
Exactly.
So
It's awesome.
then one of the first times I took it out, it was strange because I remember feeling like this is like an actual whole another vehicle I have now. Like I didn't even think about it like that. And I actually made it to the end of the driveway and one of the radiator hoses just blew off. So that was my first experience. Because I knew something was going to happen. I was waiting for it. But after that, I fixed that, and then
The shakedown run to the end of the driveway.
yeah, and I fixed that and drove it down the road, and I was waiting. I mean, it was months waiting for something to happen.
The anticipation.
I'm like, I know who put this together, so I'm not so sure about this and everything. The one thing that did happen, and it wasn't because of a running issue. I went to take my dad for a ride because I was complaining about how the transmission shifted. It was the automatic, and the kickdown wouldn't work correctly. And he was like, "Well, we'll have to adjust it. Take me for a ride." So I took him for a ride, and we were down on some back road, and I stomped on it, and the little plastic piece that was holding the throttle pedal just like broke. So the truck just went down to idle, and we just coasted to a stop. And I was like, "Okay." So I drove it home, pulling on the cable by hand. So that was interesting. Yeah.
What does it use for mounting? Is it just all carburetors?
Yeah, it's just those carbs. Everybody's like, "You should put fuel injection on." I'm like, "Well, it'll ruin the
Feel and everything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the whole idea behind it is that it's raw.
Yeah.
It's a pain in the ass. It's groggy and upset, and it pops and carries on.
And that's the character.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. There's no computer systems. There's no, like, oh, I think it runs a little rich. I'm like, yeah, it runs way too rich. I can tell you that right now. But I'm not. It runs, so I'm going to let it go. If I baby it, I've driven it down to the bay, from my boss's place is like an hour and 20 minutes. If I baby it, it'll only use, I figured it out one time, and this was just like putzing along. I think it only used about 6 or 7 gallons. And that's probably the better part of 50, 60 miles. No, I don't even know what I should say. But it did really well. But obviously I don't drive it like that, so it gets like 2 miles to the gallon. I have to run 93 in it because it's higher compression. But I'm just waiting for it to explode at some point, and it just keeps going, so whatever. I'm just going to drive it till it quits.
I think that's the perfect answer.
I put a hitch on it so I can pull stuff with it. I pulled a jet ski down to the bay one time with it.
Just to get extra parts.
Well, I mean, I had it up here, and my buddy drove that Jeep down, and he was like, well, I mean, I could pull it. I'm like, I think it'll be funny if I pull it.
Yeah.
I'm like, pull this jet ski down with this thing. And I pulled it to the gas station halfway down. And the people came over, and they were like, what are you, do you take that on the boat ramp? Doesn't it get stuck? You know, I'm like, no. It's just, I'm just pulling it down. Like, it's not a big deal. So you overthink it like crazy.
Yeah, this hasn't got much of a rake over angle for the boat ramp.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's great for that. But, no, I'm exempt from seatbelts and whatever else. I did put a set of seatbelts from that Celica in it, just in case my dad wanted to wear one. But I have not, believe it or not, gotten pulled over in this thing a lot. Like, the first time I got pulled over in it, it was because the cop wanted to look at it.
Yeah.
And he had no complaints. He just wanted to see it.
Yeah.
The second time was my fault in Ocean City. I went around, made a U-turn, and I just got on it in first gear and ran it up to like $4,000, which to me it didn't seem like much, but I wasn't outside the vehicle. So he pulled it on for me. He was like, "Hey, don't do that." I'm like, "Okay, sorry." That was it. Everybody's like, you can't go down there. You know, everybody makes excuses. You can't go down there. You can't not drive around without a hood. I'm like, I've never had any complaints, but I don't drive like an ass down there.
Yeah.
I just putz around, and everybody leaves you alone. So it was a lot. It was a lot of.
I'm actually looking forward to your next build now.
Me too. I have so many ideas that I want to do, and you know, anybody that's like, "Wait, you're doing another one? You're gonna do another one?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to build a whole fleet." Like, it was a lot of fun. I was depressed when I finished this because it was like,
Now what?
Now what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, because it's just the creativity is off the charts. It's whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
Make your own rules, and when you can do that with a vehicle, like a newer vehicle's fine. You can buy parts for it all day long,
Yeah.
modify it, make it faster, whatever, and that's great. Everybody has their different speed, you know. But making stuff like some of the stuff that's made and how it worked out, like it's hilarious to me. And it's even more hilarious when people are like, what, why did you do that?
There's no rules. There's your rules.
Like, because
I can.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny kind of thing, you know. So
Perfect.